Hi, I'm Justin Oliver from Fuel Restaurant, head chef here. Today we're going to make a red wine and balsamic braised pork shank. I'm going to serve that over sweet potato mash. So we'll just show you about the pork shank first. Pork shanks come in, and this is the shank. So it's from here to here of the pig, just like you would have a lamb shank or osso buco. So what we do is we will trim off any extra silver skin, any extra fat on them. So we just get in, trim them up a little bit. This stuff will not break down in the braising process. We're going to cook these for a couple, 3 hours, depending on the size. So just want to take anything off that looks real tough. And this is fine here. So then we're just going to season them. A little salt, a little pepper. Make sure that they're well seasoned. And we're going to go into a nice hot oil, hot pan. We're using a big cast iron brazier. This is going to help us keep the heat in the pan and cook real evenly. So we're going to sear these all off on each side. Make sure that we get a good crust on the outside, and that's going to seal in all the juices. Then we're going to add mirepoix, what we call mirepoix in the kitchen, and that is celery, carrot, onion, leek, and just a little bit of garlic. And we're going to throw those in with them. And I have some that are already seared off here, so you get a good idea of the kind of color you're looking for on the sear. Here I have a little piece of bacon, smoky bacon. This comes from Vermont. It's smokehouse applewood bacon. We're just going to get that in there and sear that up a little bit too. That's going to give us a nice flavor. When we add the red wine and the balsamic and it cooks for 2 hours, it's going to really round out the sauce. So we're getting all of our aromatics in here as well. I got some thyme and some fresh bay leaf. If you can't find fresh bay leaf, dried will work. So we're going to get that in there. We're just going to stir this around, get a little color on the vegetables. Sear that pork up real well. And like I said, we're going to cook this for a long time. This is a tough piece of meat, not something you want to just grill off or cook off. It requires a couple hours of cooking at a low temp, in liquid, or real slow roast. And that's what you're looking to have it fall right off the bone when it's done. So we're just going to put all these in. Get them warmed back up. And you can do this in a crock pot if you seared everything off ahead of time. Put it in a crock pot. You can come home later that night, and they'll be done nice and tender. Then you just want to strain them off. What we're going to do here is we're going to add some balsamic vinegar. I've got 2 cups of balsamic vinegar here. We're going to add that in. And you don't want to be leaned right over this right now. That vinegar is going to come up, and it's not good to smell. Then we're going to add some wine. I have Louis Latour here. And we're going to add that all in. Now, when you cook with wine, you want to let it cook for a minute on the stovetop before you put it in. And that's going to let the alcohol come out, so you don't get an alcohol flavor in your final product. So we're going to make sure these are all down inside here. And then we're going to cover them up. We're going to put them in the oven for 2 hours, 2.5 hours at 300 degrees. And what we're going to end up with is this. And this is the final product. And it's nice and tender. It's fall off the bone tender. And what I've done here is I've taken these shanks, I've taken them out, I've taken the sauce that has been cooking in, and I've reduced this down, strained it and reduced it down, taken all the vegetables out, reduced it down, and excuse me. We're gonna heat this up, and we're gonna create a sauce out of the braising liquid. Now, in that braising liquid, through the process of the cooking, it's taking gelatin out of the shank, so you get a nice thick sauce. And we're gonna mount that with butter. A French restaurant, you know, we go for a lot of butter here, so we're gonna mount that up with butter, and that's gonna give us a nice shine. It's gonna help flatten out some of the vinegar, so it's not real tangy. A little salt, a little pepper. I'm just going to take my spoon here. I'm going to baste this with the sauce, and that's going to get in, and it's going to glaze the pork shank. And we'll reduce this down so it's nice and thick. And then we're going to serve that over a sweet potato mash, mashed potato. So here we have that nice sauce. You can see how it's thickening. Get that butter in there. It has a nice shine to it. Okay, so that's ready now. I'm just going to grab my plate here. And you can do this family style as well. Just put the shanks out, cover them in sauce, serve the mashed potatoes on the side, and you know, let them do it themselves. Here at the restaurant, we take these mashed potatoes. Now this just has butter, salt, pepper, cream. We take those, put them down on the bottom, create a little nest for this shank to sit on. Take the shank here, got a new spoon. I'm just going to take this guy out, put him right on top. Make sure all that butter's incorporated into the sauce. Just ladle that sauce right over. And I'm just going to finish with a little garnish here. A little watercress, fresh watercress, a little EVO. Make sure that's coated. I'll just put that right up on top. And there you go. It's balsamic red, white, and braised pork shank over sweet potato mash.